me,
Okay,
yes,
do
but
you
it's not.
think that's
Like, there's so many more things that I just.
But do you believe that's
Yeah, I believe that. That
And
reason
what did
why
you
I
say
still
about it?
literally-
It's setting you free, right?
No,
In the sense where you are more
it's
free.
some part of it. It's like there's so many things that I have a question about.
Yeah,
There's so
okay.
many other things that I have a question about.
But in some
Somehow
way,
it set me
when you
free.
know that truth, it's kind of like
But-
setting you free.
So I'm thinking like maybe half of the world is gonna burn in hell because they don't believe in God the same way I believe it. It's
Another
insane.
thing I would say
Honestly,
is
it's
like,
insane and not productive. Yeah.
I think
Morty.
Ay, limits don't exist till we put them there.
I want to start with your journey. What shifted for you and what made you begin this whole journey with God and spirituality?
Okay, so growing up, I was Catholic. My grandmother used to take us to church, and then after that, when my parents moved, because we used to live close to my grandmother's house, my parents are not very religious, so we stopped going to church. But I still had I would still pray. I still believe, I still believe in God the way that the Bible teaches us. And after that, eventually, so last time I probably was in church was when I was probably like 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And after that, so when we came here, I still believe I was Catholic, even though I wasn't going to church. I didn't really I wasn't reading the Bible, but I was still considering myself to be religious because of the way that I was raised. And then after, I think when I started going to college back in 2020, I think that's when I started, my last year of high school, actually 2019, that's when I started questioning everything. And at that point, I became atheist. I used to call myself an atheist. So in college, I was an atheist. And then after that, eventually, I could find my way back into religion, even though I was not going to church, but I found my way back into religion. And after finding my way back to religion, I think it was, at the end of last year, when I started, at the end of last year, and I also, after finding my way to religion, I realized that the way that I found my way back wasn't really the way that it shifted, even though I was still in religion, it shifted. So instead of looking at God as instead of looking at sin as something that, if I do this, I'm going to burn in hell, I start looking at this as it's something that God it's a rule, a law that God have put in place in order to protect me from myself, to protect me from the world. So I stopped fearing, if I do this, I'm going to go to hell. I start naturally aligning with God, and I no longer really let the fear of the devil of sin control me. And that's when I shifted from fearing, that's when my relationship with God shifted. I felt more like he was more, instead of trying to judge me and punish me, I felt like he just loved me enough to want to make my life more, want to make my life less miserable. So he's telling me a rule of book. Instead of looking at it as, if I do this, if I don't do this, I'm going to go to hell. I just started to think consciously of these things, if I do these things, it's going to make me, it's going to hurt me eventually. All the sins that are mentioned in the Bible, and eventually. And then after that, I think probably it was in January. I started this YouTuber. It was this YouTuber. I think his name is Nero Knowledge. He was more the way he was looking at God was more through a spiritual lens. And after that, I think I watched one of his videos. I was just watching his video, and I was like, whatever. And after that, I think I was trying to put you into him. When we were coming back from Indiana. And after that, when I got home, I started watching even more of his video. When I was watching more of his video, the thing he was saying, this is so crazy. It resonated with me so much to the point, it just I felt I don't know, I feel like he was speaking directly to my subconscious. It resonated with me so much to the point that I didn't even really have to think consciously about changing my own mind. My mind was shifting. Because I remember before the thing, I could notice the change within my mind, because my mind is very chaotic. There's always something weird things going on in my head. It's really hard for me to keep focused. Remember the way my mind was shifting so much that I was already doing the inner work. I was already aligning. I was already freeing myself of all the trauma, all the negativity, all the belief that were keeping me from achieving, for becoming my better. I was literally releasing all of that negative energy to the point I remember maybe I think it was 2 weeks ago, my mind went quiet. Imagine someone crazy as me, my mind being quiet. I got scared. I didn't like it because it was hard for me because I have a crazy imagination. I like to make up stuff in my mind. There's always something going on in my head. My mind was cleaning itself so much to the point that it literally went for a week straight. I couldn't, it was hard for me to even imagine. My mind was still, it was quiet. There was really kind of nothing going on. But right now, it's slowly coming back. Right now, even my mind is no longer chaotic like it used to be for the past couple of years. I feel now I have more control over my thoughts. I have more control over my mind.
Quiet in what sense?
This,
not thinking anything?
Like, yes, you know, really, because I remember, like, I used to make up, like, I used to daydream a lot. I used to like to make up scenarios in my head. Most of the time, the scenario, they were not very positive. It was very, like, I don't know, it was not very positive. It was kind of like, it was so bad to the point that even when I was trying to like read a book, I can't focus on anything because my mind is just distracting me. It's just all over the place. So I feel like kind of like this content, like in a way, kind of like, even that's crazy because I wasn't even thinking about it. The way his content resonated with me so much, it was literally, my mind was switching without even, I wasn't thinking about the changes. It just like whatever he was saying in this video, the spiritual aspect he was talking to me in the video was resonating with me so much to the point that my mind was just doing the work on its own without me like actually like consciously thinking about, oh, I need to know. It was just like at some point, like I was the one, I was like, I realized so many changes, like, okay, I want to talk to chat about, I was like, what is going on? Why do I now feel like this? Why do my mind is getting, after I'm watching this content, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like that? And then that's when I realized that, you know, even unconsciously, my mind is really changing and shifting for the best.
So you're for the best. Okay. So you said something about alignment.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with that.
Okay, so
Yeah. Like I was trying to ask, like when you say you spiritually align, right? What does that actually mean, and what does that look like?
For me, alignment is like, for example, let's say you're someone who's looking for like to have a healthy relationship, right? But you believe that all men are trash, for example. Whatever you believe, honestly, if you no matter what you want, if you believe the opposite of that, eventually that's you're not going to be able to align with it. In order to get the reality that you want, you have to align with it. You have to switch your belief, whatever. Sometimes your belief, I remember, you have to reprogram your subconscious. When you think about reprogramming your subconscious mind, it's like basically like the first introduction you had when it comes to relationship, probably like maybe your parents' marriage, or maybe like your first relationship. You have to unlearn everything, all the negative thing that came with it, in order for you to like be able to align within your subconscious and then your conscious, and then after eventually in reality you're going to be able to frame yourself to attain that.
So alignment, by what you're saying, is
you have to believe
having a conceptualization of something that you want to achieve.
Yes, you have to align it.
You have to align with that conceptualization.
Like if in the 3D, like all of it, you have to be aligned exactly. And you cannot say you want a healthy relationship, but you believe that, you know.
Yeah, like
all men are trash, all this. You have all this negative beliefs surrounding the thing that you want.
So your thoughts, your mind, your flesh, your mental, your physical, everything
have to be aligned. Yeah, in order for you to get
goal that you want to achieve. Yeah, okay.
That's what alignment.
That's what alignment is. So does that have anything to do with aligning with God? Because
because in order for you to be, because I think about it, right? Okay, I feel like in order for you to hear God, you have to free yourself. You have to free your mind. Whatever traumatic, you cannot hear him. Like your mind have to be still basically before you can hear him. For example, when I think about, let's say two people are going, like let's say they're religious people, they're praying to God, right? One of them, even though he's not rich, but he's very confident. He believes that he can. His mentality is different than the other one. Let's say you're coming to God, you're praying from a place of you don't like yourself. You don't believe that you're worthy, but you're not going to have, God is constant, but how you come to him is how you're going to experience him, basically. That's the change that I'm going through right now. Because right now, when I used to consider myself religious, I used to pray. I wasn't praying from a place of like, loving myself, from a place of like, my mind wasn't really, when it comes to like me believing the things that I can do, the person that I am, I wasn't really believing that I'm this great person. Of course, if I come to him like that, because he's not going to make that switch, because I didn't acknowledge that. You have to do the inner work. You have to basically, I don't know, the relationship you have with God is the reflection of the relation you have with yourself.
Okay, yes. So there's a duplicity between you and your goal, and you want to align that duplicity so that you can actually have your goal can align with who you are. So if, for example, you want to be in good marriage, you want to think constantly about having a good husband or being a good wife, and then eventually you have that good wife or good marriage. Is that?
I think it has to be, it's not about thing. You have to go way back into your subconscious. Like when you think about like marriage, what's the first thing that because like whether you think of it or not, like the people that surround you, the marriage that's programmed you, whether you think about it or not, like it has to go. It's not even about your conscious. The conscious is your thinking, but it's subconscious. What is the programming that you have received throughout your whole life about that specific thing? That's deeper. When you go deeper like that, to unlearn that, to reprogram this subconscious, this way deeper than whatever thought you're having every day about it. When you learn that in your subconscious, then you can align with your kind, and eventually you will be able to resonate with that in reality. Basically, it's deeper than just thinking. You have to go and like way back into your parents' marriage, maybe your first relationship, you have to go all the way back to relearn everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said something about God is a constant, right?
Yeah.
Define what does God mean to you?
Okay, so when I think of God, I think of an impersonal and an entity. It's not like, I don't think he's a person. And also when it comes to like, I feel like a relationship with God is all different because we're all different. We all have different frequency. We're all at different period within our life. So we're not going to experience him the same. When I think of him in a spiritual sense, so like God he's infinite, for example. And I remember when he spoke about, when he's trying to explain God, it's like, religion is like, I remember Nero mentioned that in one of his videos, it's like going to the ocean, right? With a cup of, let's say you go to the ocean with a cup. You get a cup of water from the ocean and be like, oh, I have the entire ocean in his cup, which is not really true. Even spirituality, I'm not saying like spirituality doesn't explain everything, but it does its best to explain certain things that makes really logically, that makes a lot of sense with me. So there's different aspects that you can look at. He's infinite, even though right now, like our human mind cannot really, comprehend it to its full potential, the infinite. So that's why you have, philosophy, you have science trying to explain it, you have religion, and you also have spirituality. We're just doing our best. Like it's very infinite. Trying to understand exactly what is God.
Okay, and in a sense, is it more of an external existence or?
No, I think it's within.
Okay, so
my
God
is within. I don't look at it as outside of myself. You're aligned with him.
So relationship or God himself, like God as an entity,
as an entity, it's internal. Yes,
it's internally inside you.
Yeah, inside of you. It's not like being outside of you. Yeah, he's internal.
Okay, so it's not like a personal, right?
It's
like
not personal. It's like no.
Okay.
I don't think it's personal. Yeah.
So if God is internal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means you should already know everything. Basically, you yourself is God. Is that?
No, I'm not saying you're not God. No, you're not God. Okay, I remember you were. No, like I would not say we're God, but like eventually, like, I feel like okay, in the spiritual way, like God is experiencing reality through each and every one of us. We're not God. Like literally, we cannot create another human being from like we're not God, but in a way like he is living through each and every one of us. We're able to we can access him. Okay, let's say like we can access like within like whatever based on your consciousness, then you can access like a part of, yes, you can communicate directly with him, but you are not a God. Basically, in a literal sense.
In a literal sense, so you can communicate with God and he can guide you and lead you. And
internally, yes.
Okay, let me kind of pick a layer on that. So is this God like someone who like initiated the universe, or is this just a God that dwells in you? Like
he's everywhere, like he's infinite.
Okay.
He's everything, like literally.
But he's not external, he's internal.
It's within you, yeah, but he's also everywhere. Yeah, he is in every one of us, but he's everything, literally. He's everything. And when you think about the universe, I feel like there's certain things that, okay, the way that this physical form or physical reality kind of like frame everything to be, kind of you be like, oh, how did everything happen, the existence of the universe, who created God, whatever. There are things that are way different within this third dimensional realm. Like when you come to the spiritual, there are things that they're not going to be the same. They don't have the same law. Like, whatever's going on right now, the way that we think, our mind is shaped to think how far we can even think about this type of thing. It's not like that other dimension is not going to operate the same as this one. Like I feel like the universe always existed.
The universe
God always existed, yes. Like, yeah.
The universe or God?
Existed.
Which one? Because the universe is
both.
Because if you say
always existed,
if you say universe always existed, then kind of like you saying implying the universe is also God.
He's everything. Like in my understanding, he's everything.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand this, because in my mind I'm differentiating between the universe and God, right?
He created the universe. He also is the universe. I would say.
Well, so if he created the universe, he's not the universe.
He's everything. Like I feel like he's infinite.
No, you can be.
He's in everything. Yeah, he's infinite. He's like okay. Spirituality, like we're like an expression of it. He's living reality. For example, in order for you to know, some people say like, because I'm still learning. Like in order for him to know experience, like know who he is. He experienced like he's just like divided himself into like like 8 billion. I think it's 8 billion people right now on Earth and whatever. To like in order for him to like learn to explore more about himself.
Person is a expression of God.
Yes, honestly.
Based on
a spiritual. If you're looking at it,
at it from a spiritual sense, okay.
Spiritual sense. Yes.
So. But separating, because the universe need an explanation, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is by understanding there is a time where time, space, and matter subconscious simultaneously emerge at once, where it started expanding to create universe. And you cannot keep going back in regression. You'll find yourself in infinite regress where you say, this was created by this was created by that.
Exactly.
So the only things that the only one or the only entity that cannot not have been created is God. So
yes, he wasn't. Yeah.
But if you say God and the universe are the same, then you are conflicting the two ideas, because God is a separate entity. God doesn't need the universe. The universe needs God.
Yes, but I feel like he's, I mean, okay, I think even religion says he's everywhere, right? I feel like he's everything, honestly.
In what sense?
He's infinite. Like he's...
Yeah. In what sense?
Okay, so the universe is, okay, so I remember he mentioned something about like, okay, there's the law of the universe, right? So you don't think that the universe, he's that.
You think he's infinite? Are you asking me if he is the universe?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this concept where the presence of God, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Right?
Yeah, he's everywhere.
God is everywhere. God can see everywhere. It's a concept of he's infinite, true. He's omniscient. He's omnipotent. So he's everywhere. He's also he's everywhere, so he can see everything in the sense of being able to perceive everything, right? And so his presence is everywhere. That I understand. But where it's like I'm trying to differentiate between separating God and the universe. Like you can't. I don't think you can. It's like for example, if you had a baby, you're not the baby. The baby is a separate entity. Right?
I feel like
you created the baby.
In this physical, okay, here's the thing about trying to explain that type of infinite with this physical. In physical, separation only exists here. In the physical, I remember he mentioned even spirituality. Separation only exists when we all souls are all connected. Separation, neural knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Separation
so everything
right
is
now.
Coming from.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this separation only exists right now in this physical world. Like, okay, when I think of God, it doesn't operate the same way that us human. You know, like he's trying to explain, like imagine a mother having a baby and not connected. I don't think like in this physical. This is the realm of limitation. Honestly, eventually, like when it comes to our subconscious, everything we're all connected.
So I think in that sense, where I can agree with you is that human beings are limited based on their finite expression. But we are finite and God is infinite.
Exactly.
Therefore, it's hard to understand.
That's why when you talk to, that's why when you reach out, okay, I remember, okay, when it comes to light manifestation, the thing that he says is just like, okay, of course, there's some people, right?
The law of manifestation.
Okay, let's talk about the law of
That's what you, okay, yeah.
Okay, so basically when it comes, that's something that really resonated with, because when I used to listen to it on social media, it was more like aesthetic. It wasn't really, the girls like having like a vision board or whatever. It wasn't really that deep. So I would listen to it. I was kind of like, not really pay attention to it. Like the more like he broke it down, the more I understand it was like, for example, in this physical realm, like everything is very, very limited. But remember with God, you can almost, when you align yourself internally, with the thing that you want, if you're able to align it in the 3D and whatever, eventually you will be able to materialize.
Sorry, I have a question. When you say align with the things that you want, aligning with the design,
let's say there's a position. Let's say you have to be, when it comes to the universe, a lot of the universe, you have to be very specific with the thing that you want.
Okay, so you have to be specific with the things that you want.
And it's so embodied.
The law of manifestation, you have to embody that
thing, and eventually you will become.
Isn't that just you becoming the best version of yourself? Why do we need to include God in that?
Because in the sense, okay, if you're someone, there's some people who can. I remember he mentioned there's some people who can naturally do that. Hence, I remember he mentioned something. Okay, kind of like picking up on that. For example, there is some he mentioned, and I remember there was a video recently that I watched. It was like, why do bad thing happen to good people? Why do good thing happen to bad people? Because when it comes to when it comes to the universe versus like morality is something that only matters in this physical form, in this physical realm. When it comes to the law of the universe, for example, the universe doesn't care if you're a good or bad person. For example, it doesn't care if you're a good or bad person. You can be a good person, but your mentality, you like I say, your alignment, you're not really aligned. You have a terrible mentality when it comes to like actually getting the good life that you want. Versus this person, like he's a bad person, but let's say maybe he has an ego, but he's a very confident, like he's a very confident person, and he's able to have like he's able to I don't know, become whatever. A CEO, he's able to materialize things that, you as a good person, you feel like, oh, the universe should reward me because, I'm helping out people and whatever. Even if you're a good person, but you're not aligned internally, you don't believe you have a lot of mental block when it comes to like actually attaining the thing that you want. The universe is not going to reward you because you're a good person.
To kind of understand what you're saying is like, your alignment to wanting to become certain things if it's about a principle. Like, for example, if you want to be rich,
it's more mental than
you have to follow a regimen principle that.
Okay, let's say not just being rich, right? Let's say
I'm just saying one of the examples.
Yeah, you have to have like very specific, like what do you want to do exactly to become? Let's say you want to become I don't know, whatever. Now you have to embody that role, and then eventually, like, you will switch, your mindset will switch, and you will start to become internally. When you become whatever you become internally, the universe have no choice but to prove it to you externally.
Okay,
basically.
So there's this concept of kind of like in similitude, this idea where as a man think, therefore he is, or
I
as
think
a person
he mentioned that. He quoted a lot of Bible.
A lot of Bible verses.
But you don't take them like the way he explained it. I feel like it's more helpful to me in order for me to like take it, personalize it, and go, yeah. But he does mention a lot of biblical quotes.
Yeah. Also, you sent me that video that I watched actually yesterday, which is like as he was talking about seek ye first the kingdom of God, and he was explaining God as an entity. And God as a basically the ultimate consciousness, right? And based on one thing I can say is this, based on my understanding so far, that's different from the actual God that I would say I believe, because it can be simultaneously true in a sense of there is principle that is set in order for you to achieve certain things, right? But it's also true that there is also a God who you can have a relationship with. So, okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think God is personal or not?
Like his person, like...
Yeah, personal. Like he can talk to you, you can have a relationship with him as you're having a relationship with a friend. Not ChatGPT, but with a friend. ChatGPT is very...
For me, that's not, I mean, if someone could... Okay, here's the thing about you define your relationship with him. For me, like, I don't talk to him like I'm talking to a friend. Personally, for me, no. I just align, like, internally with him.
But how would you align with something that you don't know?
Why do I align with something? What do you mean I don't know? I just know, like, I am. Like, it's... Okay, what do you mean something that I don't know? Okay, since you know, who is it to you? Who is God?
Who is God? Okay. So God is, like you say, an infinite, being, entity who created everything. So like, I'm getting this from an understanding of scripture. So God is the one that created everything, right? He created everything. And when he created everything, God is, before I explain more of it, there is this because before I explain more of it, there's this idea where God, you cannot understand God in his totality, right?
Yeah, because in
his totality,
infinite, yeah.
But he can reveal himself to the way that he wants to be revealed, right? So like, he can reveal, like for example, and I'm using this a human language because you said that we are limited by a human language.
Even on mine, yeah.
The way I know you is different in a way that I know my mom, right? Because I'm only giving you of what I want you to know, right? But you don't know me in totality.
Even kind of like, okay, going on, even on that, like with spiritual journey, I feel like even I didn't know myself. Like really, when you think about it, like, because I had to go back, there was so many crazy like mental block that I have to realize that even me, like myself, you realize you don't even know yourself too. There's so many things, trauma, even if it doesn't have to be a big trauma, there's so many like things like belief that you have internally that you're not even aware of, that are literally controlling because
sometimes we move in a stimulus response cycle where we are acting based on impulses rather than actually acting and influencing a decision. So let me go back to the idea, the God thing, right? So understanding God to the best on what he revealed himself to us, right? So in my understanding, God is the one that created everything. So he's three in one. Meaning there is, the Spirit, there is the Father, and then there is the Son, which is Jesus Christ. And the Holy Spirit, which is in pretty much everyone in terms of, if for example, you have the Spirit, you have a spirit, everybody have a spirit. And that's the reason why you are alive, right? If the Spirit is taken away from you, that spirit will go back to God. That's what the scriptures say, like the Bible say that, like there's a spirit in you and that spirit will go back to God when you die, right? meaning you connect back directly to God. So in you, there's a spirit.
We're all divided, like you said. We're all divided in the physical, but we're all in one.
Yeah, it can't in one.
Spiritually, yeah.
The only issue I have with that is like an extrapolation of separations between actual relationships. So that's one dimension where the spirit is in all of us in terms of like how we are living and how we are. The way you can actually have a communications to where your spirit is joined with God, right? To where now God can directly communicate with you. Even if you don't connect with God, God is also, God has prompting. He kind of like urge you. Sometimes you'll be urged like, I shouldn't be doing that, or I should be doing this, or I should be aligning to a certain posture.
Yeah, right? You mentioned intuition, yeah.
Intuition, kind of like an intuition.
Yeah, it's like the more that's kind of like, talking to
that's
you.
like
the more you listen to, if you stop listening to it, eventually it's going to stop. Like some people don't have, the more, and sometimes also your intuition, you also have to be careful, because sometimes you might be guided by like your limited belief too. You have to, or even when it comes to your intuition, I mean, he mentioned that too, like you have to also like, be
careful with it.
That.
So,
shapes, what is guiding that intuition that you're having?
Yeah, kind of like to finalize. I just want to finalize this and then I can take it back to you. But so, that, right. And then to be able to have that relationship with him or the Holy Spirit, which we call it, is that you have to first accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right? And then you now can have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. Now that's where you start talking about you becoming like Jesus, right? So when you talk about alignment, in my mind, I'm thinking about imitating Christ, right? Basically, this is Christ,
yes,
the perfection, and we are trying our best to imitate him by the help of the Holy Spirit, which is internal. The Holy Spirit is internal. And you are understanding, reading the scripture and all this stuff so that you can actually align with him. But it's a relationship that you are having with Jesus, not just something that is already inside of you, if that makes sense. But that's kind of like
I think we're all, okay, the thing, when it comes to that, I think we're all born, like the kingdom is within, we're all born like, directly when we're kids and whatever. It's like the older you get, like the more, you use the programming stuff, what is like, your parents, what is like school, this type of limiting belief, there are the things that kind of like overshadow, like dim your connection with God, like the limiting belief that you have. But eventually I feel like in the beginning, like we all are deeply connected. It's just like the thing that shaped our connection is like, whatever the programming, like whatever you're learning in school, whatever you're learning, like this physical, basically whatever you're going through in this physical plane is the thing that's going to shape eventually going to alter your relationship with God. We all have that initially when we're born. Yeah,
like your perceptions in terms of what you have gone through, will shape the way
exactly,
you see
shape
God,
you the way that you see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think I agree to that in some extent where we all have different experience.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all have different experience. We all have this. So, okay, another thing I will ask you is this idea of subjectivity and objectivity. Do you think there's one truth, there's the truth, or there's like multiple truth?
I think there's okay, here's the thing, right? Okay, when I think about this, there's a reason why we don't, like, there's a reason why we all have, like, when it comes to, like, okay, when I think about science, right, physics, but there's so many forces, like, when I was taking physics in college, I was like, how does someone think of, it just sounds like freaking witchcraft. I'm like, how does someone even think of something like this? Like, how is that even a thing? How does someone even think like that? But however, we're able to like come to an agreement with that because we're able to quantify it. We're able to do something with it. We think about gravity, aerodynamic. We're able to build some airplane, and we're able to, like, when we can put numbers into it, we can take it to a lab, that we can all come to an agreement that this is the truth, right? In this physical plane. But when it comes to God, right, the difference that we cannot quantify him. That's why I feel like it's okay, and I feel like it's on purpose. There's certain things that, most of the things that we don't agree with, I feel like it was done on purpose, honestly. So that's why I feel like it's okay for us to have our own, like, different, like, different perception of God when it comes to, like, it depends. When you think about it, it depends where you were born. If you're born into a Muslim, you're gonna be Muslim. If you're born into, it depends. It's like there's so many variables that would shape, like, the way, whether or not you're gonna be, whatever religion you're gonna have, or whether you're even gonna have a religion. And I feel like it's done on purpose. So I feel like and then the fact that you cannot quantify when it comes to God, you cannot really quantify. There's no number you can crack down to make everyone see, to explain to everyone, like we do with physics and other things that kind of, like, I'm sorry, physics was, when I was in college, it was like, it was crazy. You're like, how does someone even think of those things? But however, they were thinking of that. They were able to get some number. They were able to prove it. And now we're able to build something because of it. Now we can all agree on that. But when it comes to this one, since we can't really like quantify, we can't put numbers on it, I think it's okay. Because there's so many variables that will make you like...
Well, be careful with that when it comes to the science, because I think
science is also, it's not infinite, it's also limited.
Yeah, like you can say that this is biologically true, but someone can say, I reject that as a truth. Mm-hmm. That's experience and perception. That's different than actual truth.
But it will be actually kind of a little bit easier for us to come to like a somewhat of an understanding if we can actually.
Yeah, so
yes, it will be a little bit easier. I mean, it's not science. It's not like it's not finite. I mean, it's not always like it's limited too. But it will be easier for us to like be able to understand and conceptualize it if we actually can somewhat quantify it. Honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can quantify something, right, you can actually quantify something like and factually articulate it based on scientific method, then you can say, okay, this is true.
Exactly.
And what I was in sense of like being careful with that is like some people would also look at that and it's like look at it from a subjective standpoint rather than objective standpoint. So my question was like, is there a truth where it's objective, that is empirical, no matter your experience?
When it comes to religion,
that truth is there. Like
that God is
like
infinite.
The God.
That's the empirical truth.
So that's empirical truth. Yeah. Like God is infinite.
It's infinite.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anybody can come to God however they want.
Yes.
They can
honestly, yes. You don't have to. Yeah. There's no.
Is there like one way to God or multiple ways?
Multiple.
Okay.
I wouldn't say yeah. Because I'm like, when I think about it, here's the thing about me. Even though like I'm going in spiritual, I don't think about somebody like, I just found this, like everybody else is, I don't know what you guys are religious people. I don't know what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. My way is the only way I have found. I don't look, because I feel like it's not very productive to look at, to look at the way that, things make sense for you and be like, everybody else, they don't know what they're doing. I'm the one who know what I'm doing. It's not very productive. Just like when you understand like the reason why people, the thing that can factor into someone being like, being born, whatever religion, so he's born or whether or not he has a religion. It's just like it's not very productive for people, and I think it's just part of our experience.
Okay,
to go and learn about
the infinite,
yes.
God, infinite God that is
wherever we stand, wherever we were born. Yeah.
Okay. So the one thing that I would like to say, I like to ask more is this. So God is infinite, right?
Yeah, it's infinite. Yeah.
And does he have a personality? Does he want to?
I feel like no. I mean, does he have a personality?
Does he have a character? Does he have morality? Does he have all this? Like, what is that?
I feel like yeah, he does have morality. There's some, I remember.
Is there God somewhere out there that he's sitting actually in his throne?
No, I don't think of him like that. Okay. Absolutely not.
So then your definition of God is completely separate from what I believe, basically.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, probably. I feel like he's not someone waiting. Because when I think about God, like here's the thing about us. Okay, if you believe, some people believe in reincarnation, right? For example, they believe that, our spirit, like, you died before, and when you get reincarnated, you delete, all your previous life get deleted. That's why, because when I think about it, the fact that we're just thrown, it feels like we just come into this world, you have no notion, you have no idea. We're all, when it comes to religion, we're all speculating about like who God, why, what is our purpose on this planet, what is this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I feel like it's not very fair. The way that the religion depicts is like, you're coming to this planet, and this like, you're being designed by default to be sinful, and here's God, which you can't really see, which nobody can really prove, but you have to listen to him or you're going to burn in hell. When people come, I don't know, when you tell people that, I feel like it's kind of hard for them, and I think it's okay. It's kind of okay because like it's hard for people to believe in God. You can't really, I don't know. We don't really know where you come from. You don't really know if it's real and whatever. You expect people to like, if you're a religion, what do you expect people to like go to church, read the Bible, and be able to like, blindly, kind of randomly for most people to be able to follow those teachings? I feel like it's not. I don't know, the way that religion depicts. It's not very fair. It's not fair. Honestly, it's not. I would say it's not fair.
I mean, the idea of like. When I was actually listening to a sermon today, and they talk about how Jesus was not actually religious. He did not like religion. He did not like the Pharisees and the Sadducees who were religious, right? Yeah. Where he would come was having a relationship with people and having relationship with people because he cared more about you as an individual and want to have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Right? And cultivating. The concept of like, so kind of like go back to build everything. God is basically doesn't exist in terms of like the throne, like he's somewhere out
someone
there
in the sky, like outside of you, like
outside of the universe, which is that's basically what you say. Which, in my sense, I the way I believe it, God is somewhere in heaven, seated.
Heaven is within. Like, okay, another thing about spirit, heaven is within.
Yeah, so you see, that one is
heaven
even that
in there. It's in you, like it's inside of you.
So even that you don't even believe like there's a place called heaven.
Honestly, no. At this point,
there's a place
I don't
called
believe in
hell.
heaven and hell. No, it's within. Like all of that, both state. There's all state of mind. They're within each and every one.
Everything is in your mind. So let's say, for
within.
example, right now, if you die, what happened after that?
When you die, you go back to being one with the. Well, some people believe in reincarnation. For example,
what do you believe in?
What do I? Okay, right now I'm still like, okay, here's the thing about spirit. Like, I'm still exploring when it comes to that, because I'm like, there's certain things that resonate. There's so many people. There's so many beliefs when it comes to like, what happened after we die and whatever. And I feel like right now I'm still exploring that, but I'm kind of like somewhat leaning more to the reincarnation. All right, for example, those people, I feel like at the end of the day, like we're all like, okay, some people say like Earth is a training ground for souls. For example, when we die, like let's say if you're a terrible person, you will get reincarnated. You will try over to learn, because I feel like the ultimate goal is to be able to like align yourself with the high frequency, which is God. As long as you don't, you're not able to find your way high up, that you'll get reincarnated and over and learn until you are able to like,
You go. So the concept of hell, heaven and hell, based on what I'm understanding, is that if you make bad decisions here in life, you will live a bad life, basically. But if you make a good decisions, like what he was saying, like heaven, but what you were saying, I think before, was heaven is within. So you have a calmness, you have peace, you have
that's
no worries,
what I'm feeling right now.
anything like that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that just be like you being a mature human being who capable of emotional control?
It's way more. Let me say something like it's way
but because someone who don't believe what you believe in can
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's literally one of the things I even talked about like that. There's some people who are able to achieve that without even like they're atheists. There's some atheists out there who are able to like when it comes to like alignment. You don't have to. This thing about God doesn't. I feel like my understanding. I talked to Chad about it this morning. You don't have to believe in Him in order for you to be able. There's some people that do have a relationship without even knowing. Literally, they're atheist people. You don't have to like. I don't know. You don't have to put a name on it. You don't have to. Yeah, like like I say, He's in every single one of us. Whether you put a name on it, whatever, He's there. But if you align with it, whether it's to religious or spirituality, your alignment is alignment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me give you this idea of proposition in terms of like God, and then tell me what you think about it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like principles, right? God created the universe and He said principle there. Those principles, regardless of whether you are good or bad, if you follow those principles, you will achieve whatever you want to achieve in sense of like becoming, if you want to be rich, you can become rich. If you want to be peaceful, confidence, you can be confident and all that by aligning to that peace, to that principle, whatever principle that God say. If you see a child falling from the sky, no matter how bad you feel about that kid and how much you want to save them, the law of gravity said that whatever goes up always comes down.
Exactly. Right? The law of the universe doesn't abide by morality.
It doesn't abide by morality.
Yeah,
so
you could say that. Yeah.
Let's say that's a principle that He, the God Himself, created and set it up. But He's also experiential, where that's a principle, that's a law, that's there. But you can also communicate with me. You can also have a relationship with me. You can also talk to me. And not just something that is inside of you, but
about that, right? I do pray. When I pray, like I don't. Here's the thing about it's different between how I used to pray with I pray right now. When I pray to God right now, like I don't pray for Him. I don't no longer beg because right now, like I have awareness of the things, the limiting belief, whatever thing that the belief that I have inside my head that's keeping me from like becoming the best version of myself. When I pray to Him, I don't no longer pray for Him to make to give me something. I just pray for Him to help me to like in turn help me learn something. Because I remember every time I pray and I turn on my phone, a video like a specific video of Nero popped up with exactly what I needed. I pray for Him to guide me more closer to him. I no longer pray to ask him for things that I want within my personal life, because I know that I'm capable of getting those things when I align with him. I don't no longer pray to beg for things. I pray for for spiritual growth, for me to be able to to get even closer to him. And I feel like me getting closer to him, like it comes with a lot, because right now, like I have so much mental peace and clarity. I have realized a lot of changes within my behavior. Like I have let go of so many things. Honestly, you just feel light. You feel like, I don't know. You feel like even when you look at yourself, like, because I remember, if you look at yourself, you just feel more confident. You feel more better. You feel, I don't know. You just
about peace.
You have mental peace, quiet, like literally. You feel like you're very confident when you come to like, because I remember sometimes, like I remember when I graduated college, I had like terrible imposter syndrome. It's like no matter how much, even though you know, I mean, you think you know, because if you knew it, you would already be it. You know you can do so much more than you're doing right now. But every time you have an opportunity to prove that, you always like, my mind just destroy everything. I just go overthinking, oh no, this and that. You're not going to be able to do that. I remember every single milestone I was not able to take was because of myself, because of doubting myself. Just like, and then with this mental clarity that I have right now, I'm able to like, you just become the better version of yourself. You just believe in yourself even more. You don't just say
so that's what I'm saying. Like, why not say being the better version of yourself rather than aligning?
It's not the thing about it. It's way deeper than that. Because I'm like, it's the thing about being a better version of yourself. Like your mood changes every day.
Because the thing you're saying, the issue that you have, someone might not have had that issue.
Exactly. There's some people we're not this. We all required. That's what I'm saying. Like the situation was different. Some people they've been obnoxiously confident their whole life. They don't have any they're believing in themselves. Some people are like that. You know. Some people don't need it. It's about. I mean, if you acquire that, for your mind to be aligned, for you to do that, it is what it is. At the end of the day, some people don't need that, yeah. But just like when you are able to do that, you're able to like, you realize that you're able to like, you're able to like trust yourself. You feel like it just gives you like more control over your life, honestly. It's like, that's the way it's giving more. I'm no longer getting on my knees begging for something, because I know I can look within, I can reach him, and turn I'm able to like, to get those things. I don't have to beg for it anymore. I'm in control, basically. Spirituality kind of give me control over my life. Over my mind. And the thing about the belief, just like, it's way, when I think about it, this 3D, like, it's way, you can think that you believe something, like, oh yeah, it's what I believe. But when you go deeper into your subconscious and actually think about how you experience that, and how, because however you experience that, whatever trauma only to happen to you once. It doesn't have to be as traumatic, as terrible, whatever relationship you have with that specific thing that you think you want, that impacted you, like subconscious. You have to go, it's not about, because when you think about it, when you think about your emotion are very like, irregular, up and down. Today, Monday, you might feel good about yourself. Tuesday, but the way that I'm going about it, spirituality, like, it's not about, it doesn't change. How I feel about myself doesn't change depending on the day, depending on whatever. It's just very like, you bring you that consistency. You're no longer on an emotional roller coaster. You like have control over your life. Over like, you don't feel like you're on top of the world on Monday, and then Tuesday something happens. No matter what happened in your life, you still believe. Yeah, you're still confident.
There was this concept where someone said, like, if you are going through like a traumatic experience and you put that weight on God in terms of saying, like, Jesus, take this burden from me, that has a positive ability of you kind of like overcoming that. So, and I think you agree to that in the sense of just being like the God that dwells internally. And I think where I'm noticing something where we differentiate is that actuality of it, in terms of like, there's actually heaven, there's actually hell, there's actually a God who can decide to, I think that's the difference.
And in that sense, when I think about it, maybe you can kind of clarify it. When I think about it, God created everything. He allowed the fall to happen. He allowed hell to exist. Even in that sense, I feel like he could have done a way different. He could have done things differently when it comes to it. When I think about are
you agreeing with the biblical God, or?
When I think about it biblically, right? Because I have a lot of criticism when it comes to like the way that he describes everything. I feel like he could have done things way differently.
In what way?
When I think about why we even create, there's so many ways he could have us redeem ourselves within this physical, instead of like just like, when I think about hell is insane.
But I think
burning for eternity is insane. Like, okay, imagine you're throwing this freaking world, for example. You don't really know God is real. You don't even know. You're just living. And then after that, eventually, okay, let's say there's some very, very horrible people that have done very horrible things. People feel like, okay, this person deserves to burn in hell. But also, that's not, you don't really need to do horrible things. Let's say, for example, if you don't believe in God, according to religious people, you're going to burning for, do you understand about burning for eternity? Like, what type of thing do you think? And also, it's kind of crazy because if you're Christian, and you believe that, okay, God, you believe in your religion is the only truth, for example, right? That means you believe that Muslim or whatever other religions out there, they're not following the right gods. Eventually, maybe according to religion, they're going to burn in hell, right?
In terms of like Christianity, if you don't accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior,
because that's not very productive. Because when you think about it, there's Muslim, there's so many other religions out there. They don't.
For productivity, then that's subjective to human understanding.
It's not.
Also,
fair.
another thing.
Thinking like half the world is going to burn in hell because they don't believe in God the same way that you believe. It's
another
insane.
thing I would say is
like, not productive. Yeah.
I think everybody is given an opportunity to know the truth. Right. So you're saying something about,
part of it is infinite.
No. To know the truth that will get you to where you need to go in terms of like, let's say, for example, to get to heaven, right?
Yeah.
If the goal is to get to heaven, there is an exact truth that will get you there. If you reject that truth, that's not on God, that's on you. Because hell was not created for humanity. It was not designed for human being to go there.
But the thing about the end of the day, right? I believe he created everything, even Lucifer.
No, he did create it. God
everything.
created
he allowed
hell,
that.
but he didn't create hell for human being.
But he's gonna send. But he's gonna go there anyway.
Yeah, of your own will, of your own choosing.
Oh my God! When you think, here's the thing about your own choosing. It's like, okay, the way we operate in the physical form, in the physical realm, for example, you have to, like most human, you have to be able to see that. I feel like it's not fair because most human, it's hard for people to believe in God because like the way we operate, the way our mind is wired to work in this physical, you have to be able to prove something in order to make people believe.
And that's what I'm saying. Like everybody is given an opportunity to accept it or not. And I believe that everybody will give
something they can't really see. They don't feel connected. Some people don't feel connected to it. You can't, something you can really prove. Like when I remember going back to what I say about like proving something like scientifically, if you can quantify something, there's a more probability people. I feel like it's not fair. Honestly, even if that's the truth, that's not fair. That's not just. And that's not, I don't know, that's not how I view him, honestly. That's not fair. Like, you throwing people on this planet, they don't see this, the way we, even, I think it's by default, the way we operate, I feel like it's on, everything that happened right now in this, I feel like it's on purpose, done on purpose. We're not, I feel like the reason why we're not supposed to have all the same understanding of, I think it's done, everything that happened that I feel like it's by design.
I agree that we're not all going to have the same experience.
Believe it.
We're going to have different experience. I think there is an actual truth that
it's by design.
Because the thing with, okay, so let's say this is God, right? There's God who created everything. And ultimately, there is a way that you'd want to be revered, to be worshipped, or to be respected, unless you don't also. I don't think
God will require worship. Because when you worship, there's the thing about when I think about God, I think about alignment. When you worship, sometimes you put that thing outside of yourself. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think God require. In my view, he doesn't require worship.
Doesn't require worship. Yeah, so we do have pretty much everything in different sense.
Yeah, he wants to align, to embody him, to embody his whatever, love, kindness, whatever. He doesn't want to. When you worship something, that you put that thing on a pedestal outside of you. Like that thing is not very that much attainable.
God, the highest form.
Exactly, but when you believe that he's within, you can easily align with him. You can embody him. Like worshiping,
Yeah, because he's also in you, and he's also, so there's this idea that God manifested throughout the ages in three ways, right? Number one is with us, right? With human being. Yeah. That's a story of in the children of Israel where God was with them. And then God for them, basically. That's the first time God manifested, God for them, which is God the Father, right? He manifested for them. Like God is for you, right? Mm-hmm. And as long as you align with him, he's going to do for you. He's going to protect you. He's going to take care of you. He's going to provide for you. And then there's God with you, where he's always with you, an external being that is with you, as Jesus Christ was. When Jesus Christ came, he was a God, fully man, fully God. Mm-hmm. He was with the people. And then the third one is God in us, right? Which is when Jesus Christ died, he said, go and wait for me. The Holy Spirit will come and lead you into all truth. So the Holy Spirit will come and dwell inside of you and lead you into all truth. So you now have both manifestation of God, God for you, God with you, and God in you. He's revealing himself in that sense, in that level. So what I'm noticing is like an extrapolation of one particular things that you can agree with and align with it and fully focus on that. Like, for example, the law of manifestations, right? As a man thinketh, therefore he is. That's a biblical concept. And you align with it and you fully focus on it. But the fact that God has, you know, he has like a law and regulations and he wants you to be holy. And if you don't accept Jesus Christ as the truth that he has acclaimed to be like the way to go to heaven, oh yeah, you don't agree with that at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms
of Jesus Christ, right? In the spiritual way, like he was the one, okay, of course he was, yes, he was able to tap into like consciousness, talk to God directly, whatever. I feel like he was more trying to teach us to become like, that's why when you worship something, I think religious people say therefore, Lord, when you worship something, that means you can't, that thing is not really attainable. I think he was more trying to teach us. He didn't want to start a religion. Yeah, I mean, most people say Jesus Christ was not trying to start a religion. He was more trying to teach us how to talk to the, you know, he was the embodiment. Like this.
Wait, so you say
the embodiment.
It's not attainable.
When you worship something, when you, for example, let's look at Nero knowledge, for example, right? When I look at him, I don't put him on a pedestal because he want to transfer knowledge to me, right? If I put him on a pedestal, what does that mean? I mean, I think that he's just this bright, okay, he's a real knowledgeable guy. He's very
He's not claiming to be God.
No, I'm not saying, no, I'm just saying in general, the way that I think, speak in general. I'm not saying he's claiming to, that's nothing to do with him, but it's just like kind of the way my mind is going about it. In order for you to embody something, you cannot put that on a pedestal. For example, when I look at Nero knowledge, of course, he's someone that he's very articulate, he's very knowledgeable, he read a lot of books and whatever. But in order for me to be able to feel that he's teaching the thing that he's already doing, in order for me to feel like I can do those things, also, I don't put him on a pedestal. I see, like, I'm looking at him right now, we're looking at him as equal. So I'm going to be, for me, when I look at him like that, we're looking eye to eye. Now I can see myself being able to like learn, to be able to learn and also do the thing that he's able to do with the knowledge that he's doing. Basically, but if I put him on a pedestal, I say, "Oh my God, he's just this smart, articulate, whatever." Now he's outside. I don't feel like I can attain that. Honestly, when you look at someone eye to eye, yes, look at.
I think that's I don't think that example makes sense to me at all because he doesn't claim to be God.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with God. It's like the way. Okay,
and he's also.
When you look at someone, right? When you look at someone, just in general, my way of looking, even when it comes to God, looking at someone generally right now, even Nero, because I remember this. Okay, it's easy. He can easily start a cult, and people will worship him. Honestly. Because when people, just think about certain human, when they start resonating with something, they kind of like there's some people that have put their pastor, especially like in Africa, in such a pedestal. Like the pastor is their God on earth. Like literally, whatever the pastor say, like they would do it.
Which is wrong, by the way.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the same time.
Because the only one that is worthy of worship is God.
I mean, if you want to look at him that way, because he doesn't require worship. God doesn't require.
There's a difference between giving an example of Nero. Huh? There's a difference between giving an example of Nero than giving an example of a God. You know, I'm
just saying like the way my mind works right now in general, when it comes to like people that have, notion that I want to, instead of trying to like look at it as like, oh my God, look at him. Oh my God, I'm so amazed. And how I align with it, I want to embody that.
Right. So
I don't want to like put that outside of something that, or put it on a pedestal. I mean, if you put something on a pedestal, I mean, you can't really attain it. Can't really reach
I see what you mean.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Uh-huh.
Paul said something that was very interesting. He said, imitate me as I'm imitating Christ.
Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah. Like, Christ already died, but I'm the closest thing that have imitated him because I've seen him. Mm-hmm. And you are seeing me. So in order for you to get to see Christ, you have to imitate me as I'm imitating Christ. Because Christ is the goal.
That's what I mean.
So that's why Christ said. But you see how
put it on a pedestal, yeah.
Yeah, but you see how almost every point, you are.
Yeah, he does quote a lot of biblical, but yes, he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
The video that you sent me, right? Mm-hmm. He says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness." And then there was another verse that he said, what verse was it? There was a verse that said, "Do not be anxious about anything, for like your God will take care of you, will provide you." Right? I think that was the verse that he said.
Because that video, I think when I watched this, I watched so many videos. Yes, I did, but I watched so many. Yes, I watched, like, I've been watching like 5 videos. I need to start watching, okay, he literally said that you have to, I remember sometime, like, okay, I watched so much this video to the point I remember for a whole week I couldn't watch because it was mental, or like, it was too many things. Like, I had to, like, I remember for a week I didn't want to watch it because, like, it was too much. It's like when you're learning, like, I was feeding myself too much. Like,
I feel like you should.
And I need to watch and actually take notes. I'm just watching and listening like a podcast. No, I have to actually, like, you know.
I feel like if this is something that you actually like,
I'm really,
heartily in it, you should examine it and see, like, rather than just relying on.
No, exactly. I've been talking to Jay. The thing about it, I don't necessarily agree with everything. Whenever, like, I kind of think of something outside of what he said, like, I'll be talking to Chad about, because even
Chat. Okay, this one thing I noticed about Chat. Chat can agree with you as long as that's what your opinion
like is. Sometimes it's like, okay, hold on, let me ground this. Maybe if you think like this, it doesn't like agree with me fully. It would be like, I see where you're coming from.
So I don't sometimes it does do it.
No, okay, it was kind of like, hey, I know you're saying this and blah, 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 but however, at the end, it would kind of be like, let me challenge you a little bit. How about this? But that's how, like, my conversation really goes. It doesn't really agree with this and everything. It kind of challenged my perception at the end.
That's interesting.
Oh, yes.
Your relationship with ChatGPT is so interesting, because for me, I'm like,
who else am I going to be talking about?
I don't want to be programmed by anything like that.
I'd rather you think about this thing. I'm reprogramming myself, because when you think about, like, okay, whether you know it or not, as a kid, everything is a program. Your parents, the program, the school, like, everything is like, right now, like,
I think for myself though. I don't need Chat.
No, it's not okay. It's not like I don't think for me. It's just like, you think something, right? But you want Chat, probably like, he's gonna be, remember when I mentioned something, oh yeah, philosopher so and so have said this. It's actually this notion, whatever vocab going on about this. Kind of like, it's kind of.
Or you can go to Google and ask for the book and look for the book and read the book.
Man, it's 24th century. I'm sorry, no, I'm not reading. No.
But you might get haphazard information, like half information on certain things when you could, because sometimes
it's faster.
Okay,
that is faster.
I get it.
It's like talking to like talking to a Wikipedia.
It's like that time when I told you, like, when you were asking me the questions about spirituality, and I told you, I mean, you're saying something that is like you don't agree with in terms of like the Bible, but you have not read the Bible. Like, that does, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
And I also need to read, like, okay, I'm gonna have to read a lot of, the Bible, the Quran. I'm gonna read like all of them. Not necessarily in the sense of, like, even him, like, he read them in a way of, like, there's still some knowledge in those books, honestly. And, like, when it comes to there's still a lot of knowledge.
The video that you sent me, that's the whole. It's an extrapolations of biblical principles.
But in a different.
But he extrapolates the. So he, like, for example, the terminology Christos, right? Mm-hmm. Like Christo, Jesus Christ. The Christ is the God representation of the anointed one. Mm-hmm. And then Jesus is the human form, the relationship form. Mm-hmm. Christ is the principle, which is like the anointed. He just extrapolates the Christ, which is a Christo, and say, whatever principle that Jesus Christ applied, that's what you should apply. And if you apply that principle, you will get what you want to get. Mm-hmm. But forget about the Jesus. Like, he was not a being that existed. There was no historical evidence to his existence in that same. I mean, he existed, but there's nothing like him dying.
His content is more focused on, like, how it's going to help you personally to grow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's extrapolating the benefits of
Bible. Yes, exactly.
Of it, and removing the actual relationship part, which is like, this is actually, like, there's actually a God out there. Like, there's actually.
He believes that. He says that. He talks about, like, in a sense, he does talk about there's a God out there, yes.
But you haven't gotten there yet, because you don't believe there's a God out there.
I just talk about what do you mean?
Like, there's no God out there. Like, that's what you say. There's no God out there. There's God in you. He's infinite. But not like out there where he's like
in the sky, waiting to judge.
Not in the sky.
In the sky, like, that's
heaven is not sky. In the sky.
What is it? It's in It's in your mind. It's
not in your mind. It's a 3-dimensional. It's a okay.
It's in your heaven and hell is the
heaven. I think heaven is it the third heaven?
State of mind.
No, the 7th heaven or something like that. So there's like multiple planes, right? Based on the biblical understanding, there's multiple planes. There's a spiritual world, right? Mm-hmm. That's the spiritual world where we live in, and then there's a physical world. This is physical. This is the physical world that we live in. There's a spiritual world. Mm-hmm. The spiritual world, that's where the spirits are, spiritual beings or stuff like that. That's where usually where like we would call it the deep spiritual live, your spirit live, where you can actually like change something in there and it will affect reality.
Exactly.
So for example, if you conceptualize becoming a certain someone, if you're constantly attentive to that idea is living in the spirit, and you can bring it into the world, and the way you bring it to the world is your mind.
Yeah, he said there's different version of us that exist.
But where God lives is in the third heaven, which is beyond that plane of existence. You know what I'm saying? Like that idea.
And I feel like it's not. I feel like I still don't see that as like a place, a GPS, like, or not GPS, but like I don't really see it as a place.
He said, okay. Nero said there is two worlds, right? The video you sent me, because I actually had to watch it. He said there is two worlds, right? Right? There's the world number one, world number two, right? And then the way I understood it, he's saying basically there's this world where you can actually conceptualize idea, right? Of your best version of yourself and bring it into the physical realm, which is the world number two, which is where you live, which is where the knowledge, the limitations, the sin, the sickness, all this stuff are. But in world number two, there's none of that. None of that is there because that's where your mind actually dwell in the most, right? Like your subconscious dwell in the most.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying, right?
That's what he was saying, yeah.
Now that idea, that's what my point is that idea is already in the Bible. But the Bible say that there is actually God that exists and there is a time where he would require of you. If that makes sense.
How long was that? No. Okay, before we conclude, right? You gotta give the people something to like think about, something to comment down. Yeah.
Do you think God is personal or just internal?
What is your relationship with God?
What's your relationship with God like? Do you think God actually exists or doesn't exist? Do you believe in God?
Kind of like I was supposed okay, to wrap this up, I'm supposed to like kind of like bring like the, kind of compare everything that we're going through right now in this physical to like Attack on Titan. I have to bring it up.
No.
It makes it, no, I have to. Okay.
No,
okay, let me say,
don't
you
like
want to
that.
see where I'm coming from with that?
I don't like that.
When I think about
I heard your memo. You told me the memo.
Okay, I guess you didn't watch it, so you're not going to watch it. Spoiler alert for them, boom. Okay, so there's a
But I did get the memo though.
Exactly. There's a reason why we don't know what we don't know. Honestly, sometimes you think this is the truth because when I think about, okay, people want to know exactly for there's a reason why I feel like maybe our memory was wiped up or whatever. There's a reason why we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes you think that the truth will set you free. Sometimes it's like not knowing the truth is actually protection.
The truth will set you free.
Go tell that to Aaron in Attack on Titan. Go tell him that. It didn't set him free. Like he was like they condemned him. Let's
forget about Aaron.
No,
what about you? What about you? You believe what you're learning from Aaron is the truth, right?
Well, Nero,
whatever. Sorry,
it resonated with me. Okay. Yes, but it's not. There's so many more things like this.
But do you believe that's the truth?
I believe that.
And what did you say about it? It's setting you free, right?
No, it's some part of it. It's like there's so many things that I have a question about. Yeah, there's so many other things that I have a question about.
But in some way, when you know that truth, it's kind of like setting you free.
Somewhat, but like I feel like in the full scale, when learning about the truth, actually like everything on a full scale, probably is not going to set me. Maybe, okay, let's say you believe in reincarnation, right? Maybe I'm over here thinking about looking at people like, oh, I would never do. Maybe like there was a version of me, like, I don't know, some years ago of my soul. Cause I mean, people believe that Earth is a training ground for soul in order for us to, reconnect back with the one. Maybe the reason why I don't know, maybe even if there's reincarnation, whatever, maybe me not knowing exactly, who I was before, this physical body, maybe I was a horrible person. Maybe like 20 years ago.
You believe in reincarnation or not?
Honestly, yes, I would say yes. I believe in reincarnation.
Okay. Yeah, that's
every time we get reincarnated, like our mind get like erased.
I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe that God reincarnated. But not.
I believe Jesus. Maybe I was so like it's just like that's. I feel like it's very. I believe because I remember. Okay, the reason why I believe in it, right? I remember there was a video. Literally, it wasn't like a fake video. This kid was a kid, like probably was like a 4-year-old kid talking about his whole life. Literally, the parents of the kid. I mean, there's some kids out there, like little kids, because the mind of the kid is very, it's very kids' minds are very whatchamacallit.
But there was also
he was talking about his the little one. Everything the kid said checked out. There's no way that kid could have known that.
So you believe that?
There's so many. Yes, I feel like there's
also someone who said that they met Jesus Christ and they saw him personally. Do you also believe with that?
What do you? Okay.
Like there's also someone that said that they met Jesus Christ.
Okay, that one is different than what I just said. When I
no, that's experience. We are creating
this kid that I'm talking about. Like they went to the place where he used to live and everything, the name, everything, the horse, everything that he said about his past life checked out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that one is more believable. Cause like everything the kid said about his past life checked out. Everything, the place he used to live, the name of his wife, the name of his. This kid was talking about crazy thing, and then they went to that. The parent flew the kid to that specific place. Everything the kid was talking about checked out. No, it was reincarnated.
Okay, let me give you this another one before you go to the reincarnation part. So someone come up to you and tell you exactly like, hey, this is what's going on in your life. This is what happened before. This is at the age of 5.
Exactly, like that was this probably destroy you.
That's what happened. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of like the same thing. Like that's what we call like the prophetic in Christianity.
No, I'm just saying like right now, right? Okay, I think what you're saying. Okay, let's say for example, let's say I believe in reincarnation, right? Some version of me, like they're trying to say like some version of me long time ago, like maybe like a terrible person. Okay. If you believe in reincarnation, like kind of like the earth is a training ground for souls. We're here to like learn and grow, to reconnect back with the one. Let's say like there was some bird. The reason why the infinite God,
the one that doesn't exist but exists.
Anyway, I already explain it. The more I explain, he's infinite. He literally is everything. Okay, so. Basically, I'm saying like, okay, let's say the reason why I don't know, because let's say I was to find out, for example, right? I'm like, I don't know, maybe the 1 million reincarnation of my soul into like maybe the previous life. In the previous life of me, I was maybe, I don't know, maybe a horrible person and I was terrible, even though I think that right now I'm a decent human being. Maybe like there was a version of me a long time ago, right now on this planet that was very terrible and whatever. Maybe there's a reason why we don't know what we don't know, basically. There's a reason why we don't. Like we're on this journey, we don't really know what we don't know. We don't know where we're coming from. We don't know exactly where we're going. There's a reason. Sometimes I feel like it's protection. Yeah, because I'm telling you that kid, there's so many history like that. Kids that literally like everything is so creepy. Everything checked out. This kid is talking about like where he used to live, who he was married to, the horse name, the house. Like a kid. Like a 4 or 5 year, like everything checked out.
45.
Like 4 or 5. Oh. 4 or 5 years old. Everything that he said about his past life checked. Like, how would he know that? How would avoid that? So it's reincarnation. Definitely. It's like, when it comes to learning the truth, right? Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's not about, okay, if I'm being very realistic, I'm like, I don't think that I'm going to get exactly to like, because this infinite is very vast, but at the end of the day, like, it's still like, I'm still seeking, like, I still want to learn a lot of things, but I don't think it's going to be like very realistic for me to think that I'm actually absolutely going to get, to that, true, but like, it's very fun to learn and grow, to like explore exactly who we were and where we come from.
Well, that was fun. I think just to conclude off here, I think there's a lot to learn for sure. Like
yes, there's a lot. Even me right now, like so many questions I have when it comes to like understanding like the thing that I know on a tour spiritual lens.
Yeah, and the more you learn, the more questions
you have.
So yeah, that there's a lot to learn. But I think one of the main reasons why I wanted to actually bring you here on the podcast is actually talk about it the way we are talking about it. And I mean, we have conversations outside of, just this. But this is kind of like, when I was thinking about recording this podcast, I was actually thinking like, if I capture it in a way, it's like, when you're watching a movie, right? And then they say, for example, you only watched in the middle of the movie, 35 minutes, but you forgot to watch the beginning and you forgot to watch the end. And I feel like this is basically what this podcast is. Like, we had this conversation since Indiana, and then now we are here. We just capture these parts, and then hopefully next time we capture more. But yeah, this is something that it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah, it's a good. Don't forget to comment out, whatever your spiritual,
don't forget to
if you're spiritual, religious, like how how you would describe God, how you would describe your relation with God, and share, like, and subscribe.
Well, peace out.
Bye bye.